is hoop season now, Andy, so let's talk about those Cavaliers, bro. Off to an interesting start, to say the least. But last night, they ended a 16-game slide against the Warriors. I think that dates back to the LeBron era. That's how long it's been since we
Was that
Golden
Christmas
State.
Day game?
It's been a minute
Christmas
or
Day.
two.
Yeah.
So how nice did that feel, just seeing Cleveland come out and beat this specific franchise?
It felt pretty good because so many of those guys are still with Golden State, too. Like, you still see Draymond, Curry, Clay, Kerr still coaching. I do love Kerr, though. But, like, yeah, I saw getting downtown yesterday. Like, I saw a lot of Golden State fans, and I'm just like, these Golden State Warriors, like, enough is enough. Like, can we finally win? That blew my mind that they hadn't beaten them in that long of a stretch, but hey, the Cavs came out and they balled, and they're healthy, and I think that's the biggest thing, and that's what a lot of the players have said too. Like, no one's worried about, the kind of slow start they've gotten off to, because, this is just now their second game playing with everyone healthy, and having Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in the paint makes such a difference when you've got both of those 7-footers down there. It really changes the entire dynamic of this team.
Well, Donovan Mitchell goes for 31 last night. He's averaging 32.5 so far on the season. Is he a superstar to you? Is he like a top 10 type of talent that can actually like lead a franchise? Because we saw in the playoffs last year, not good enough to get by the Knicks. Does he have that type of it factor where he can carry a team?
For sure. I mean, he's the guy that you want to make plays down the stretch, and I think he is that guy too. I do think sometimes he becomes a little too, like, hero heavy, and sometimes it's just him and the rest of the team is standing around sort of waiting to see what he does. But having Darius Garland back, like, makes him so much better because people will focus on Mitchell, and then Garland can kind of run the offense and do his thing, and that leads to open opportunities for Strus or for like Karis LeVert or any of those bigs down there. So I do think Mitchell, I remember I wasn't quite sure how the trade was going to work when he came here, because I was actually like really excited for Ochai Agbaji to like play with these tall guys that we had, and I thought the Cavs had a good core and everything. And I was like, this Mitchell thing might kind of ruin it, and I don't think it's done that at all. I think he's pretty solid and legit and gives the Cavs like a real shot to really kind of make any sort of run that they want come playoff time, if he steps up. The Knicks series was really weird last year. I know there was a lot going into that with him playing against New York, and it was a lot of the first time playoff experience for so many of these guys on the Cavs too, that I think the moment was just a little too big for them.
Well, if you round up Okoro's scoring numbers, we actually got 7 dudes that are putting up double figures every single night, Andy. Do you feel like this is a little bit deeper roster than we even had a season ago? Because to me, it feels like they probably got 10 guys that they're pretty confident in.
It's interesting because like the bench has kind of been the biggest issue for them recently. I was surprised Lamar Stevens was like a guy that they got rid of this offseason. I kind of felt like he was like that spark you needed off the bench. But bringing in a guy like Max Strus has been huge, because then you bring Karis now in off the bench, and LeVert can make plays. Okoro has really stepped up his game this year. So yeah, they've got some dudes. George Niang is like another guy too that they brought in that I think has just done a really good job. And Tristan Thompson is back. You've got like,
love it.
I can't remember if it was JB who said this after the postgame the other night, but like you've got like dudes that have been there on your bench now. Like, they're adults. They've got guys that have been through this before and have the experience, and I think that goes a long way in trying to like help, Okoro, Garland, and some of the younger guys continue to grow and develop.
We were one of the best teams at home last season, and then we come out of the gates and we dropped 3 in a row in a little homestand there. So I thought that was kind of strange, but it is what it is. It's a long season. That's why they play 82 of these games. Do you see Cleveland actually contending with the Bucks this year in the Central, or are we a little bit of a fugazi perhaps in that competition, going head-to-head with a team that I think is a lot of people's pick, if not the Celtics, to emerge from the East?
I was going to say, with the way that the Celtics are scoring like 150 points a night right now.
Adam Thompson's smiling over here.
Yeah, I think the Cavs, best case scenario, you're a top 4 seed again and you're hosting that first round of the playoffs. But I think that they've got, we'll see, because they're, I like what I've seen now. Obviously, yesterday's win against Golden State, they were all healthy, and they had some moments in that Pacers game the other night too, where it's like, okay, you could see when like things started to click as they started to get more time together out there on the court. That it was like, okay, this is kind of the Cavs team that we expected them to be. But I think top four is kind of the ceiling of this team, and if they can make it through a first-round playoff series this year, I think that would obviously be another big step for them, and then maybe getting some more of that experience under their belts would maybe give them a chance to pull off an upset. I mean, we saw what Miami did last year, making it all the way to the finals. So, like, you never know. You get in and you play your best ball and come out on top. You see what happens.